Okay, I'm just sharing the screen for the sister. One second.
Yes, thank you, brother. It is, brother, the next one, right? Of 13th April 1981. Yes. Om Shanti, Divine Family. Thank you, Baba. Today we are going to read the Murli of 13th April 1981. We will be doing half of the Murli today, and the second half we will be completing it on Monday. Yes, thank you, brother. Let's begin. The specialities of a spiritual rose. Such a beautiful title of the Murli. Today, the master of the garden is looking at his children who are spiritual roses. The children who are the spiritual roses from all directions are personally sitting in front of Bapdada. No matter where you children are physically sitting, as some brothers and sisters are listening to the Murli in the history hall below, Bapdada can see all of you before his eyes. Even now, Bapdada is listening to the children's thoughts. Everyone wants to sit face to face in front of Baba and hear the Murli. However, even though some children are sitting in the small hall below, Bapdada is seeing all you children in front of him. The fragrance of each of you spiritual roses is reaching Bapdada. All of you are number-wise, but at this moment, all of you belong to the one Father and none other, and are stable in your first and foremost stage with this spiritual fragrance. This is why this spiritual fragrance is reaching the subtle region. Do you know the specialities of spiritual fragrance? On what basis are you able to keep the spiritual fragrance constant and steady, and also able to spread it far and wide? That is to make an impact with it. The main basis of this is your spiritual attitude. Let there always be the awareness that the Spirit is seeing the Spirit and speaking to the Spirit. It is the spirits that are playing their various parts. I am a spirit and constantly moving along while under the canopy of protection of the Supreme Spirit. Let's just pause here for a second and just visualize this. I am a spirit and constantly moving along while under the canopy of protection of the Supreme Spirit. And now that you have visualized and are in that vibration, let's continue with the Murli. I am a spirit. I cannot have a single thought that is not according to the Srimad of the Supreme Spirit. The Karavanhar, the one who makes me act, and I, the Spirit, is the Supreme Spirit. I am an instrument who is made to do everything by Karavanhar. I am Karanhar, one who acts and He is Karavandhar. He's making me move, and I'm moving. The Lord is ever present in every direction for me. The Spirit in every thought, word, and deed of mine. Therefore, I, the Spirit, am always Lord and say, Yes, my Lord. The Spirit and the Supreme Spirit are constantly combined. The Supreme Spirit cannot stay without me. This Spirit and I cannot stay without the Supreme Spirit. Those who experience the Lord to be present with them at every second, constantly and eternally, have the spiritual fragrance. This is the speciality of number one fragrant spiritual roses. In the same way, they always have the Supreme Spirit merged in their drishti. They are merged in the Father's drishti, and the Father is merged in their drishti. Spiritual roses will see, but not see bodies, the physical world, or anything or person of the old physical world. They have the consciousness of speaking through their bodies, but of seeing the Spirit and speaking to the Spirit. In their vision, they constantly have the spiritual world, the world of angels and the world of deities. They are constantly engaged in spiritual service. Night and day, there is constantly spiritual service for them to do. Similarly, such spiritual roses always have the spiritual feeling that all spirits should claim a right to their inheritance, just as they themselves have done. They feel that they want to help souls under an external influence with their own powers that they have attained from the Father and enable them to have an experience. They never look at anyone's weaknesses or defects. They are bestowers who constantly cooperate, using the powers and virtues that they have inculcated into themselves. They are cooperative with the Brahmin family and great donors for everyone else. They never feel that certain people are like this or like that. Instead, they always have the good wishes to make others equal to the Father. Together with this, they also have elevated good wishes for all the souls who are at this time unhappy, poverty-stricken, and peaceless to become constantly peaceful and prosperous embodiments of happiness. They constantly have in their awareness the one concern of quickly bringing about world transformation. These are spiritual roses. Today, it is the turn of those from Maharashtra. If those from Maharashtra remember even the one word Maha, great, they can then all become great. That is, they can all become number one. What is the aim of those from Maharashtra? To become great. You have to make yourselves great and also make the world great. This is what you always have in your awareness. Is it not? Those from Karnataka are the actors who constantly play hero parts in the drama, in the natak. You have to become heroes and make others into heroes. Andhra, one of the states of India, means those who dispel darkness. They dispel all types of darkness. In Andhra, there is a lot of darkness of poverty. Therefore, you have to remove the poverty of body, mind, and wealth. You are those who dispel all of this darkness and bring constant light. Therefore, you residents of Andhra are master sons of knowledge. Madras means those who are constantly absorbed in their dancing. There is the dance of harmonizing sanskars and the dance of happiness. And you also dance physically. Mad, ras also means to be absorbed. Therefore, you remain constantly absorbed in this dance. Do you understand what the occupation of all of you is? So, Baba has now met everyone, has he not? Eventually, you will have to reach the stage of just meeting through the eyes. For Bap Dada, wherever you are sitting, whether up here or down below, you are all VIPs. So we'll stop here today because the rest of the Murli we will do it on Monday. Let's go back to the beginning of the Murli and let's all reflect on this beautiful Murli which we have just read, and then we will share our reflections after 2 minutes. So are we ready to start sharing our reflections? Who would like to begin, please?
Om Shanti.
Om
It's a
Shanti, brother.
beautiful Murli sister, where Babdada has compared the stage of his yogi soul with a spiritual rose, and he's the master of the garden. Bhagwan is visiting the garden where we all, the spiritual roses are there, and he is seeing each one of us personally, face to face. And thereafter, he has described about the specialities of spiritual fragrance. Here, the fragrance of spirituality, which is it constant and steady, and what is the range? What is the range? How far it is spreading? How wide it is spreading to make the environment also spiritual and pure. And the main basis of this, Baba says, is the spiritual attitude, Ruhani Vritti. And when this Ruhani Vritti is there, then that what is the diameter of that Vrit, that circle, is also important. So it's a very highly intoxicating Murli, where I, the soul, I am a spirit, and constantly moving along while under the canopy of protection of the Supreme Soul of Abdada. And and what is the takeaway is not even a single thought can be in violation of the Srimad. So every thought is in alignment with the Srimad of the Supreme Spirit. Why? Because I myself is a spirit, the creation of the Supreme Spirit.
Thank you, brother. Yes, it's a very beautiful Murli. And Baba has brought us into that beautiful garden where all of us are those spiritual roses, where the fragrance is reaching the subtle world. Anyone else who would like to share?
Om Shanti sister, good morning.
Om Shanti.
This particular illustration of Baba being the protection around us as we are moving in and around brings that sense of security, that sense of companionship, and at the same time feeling very protected. It gives us that awareness that yes, what is happening is known to me. Wherever am I moving, the environment is with me, and I'm in that environment. This particular illustration seemed to be very nice. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Yes, thank you, brother. Anyone else? An important takeaway or some reflection that came to your mind while we were doing the Murli?
Om Shanti. So Baba says, I'm an instrument who, I'm current har and Baba is Karavan har. So he's seeing in that way, or I have to see in that way that how things are going ahead, like going forward. So Baba is making me move and I am moving forward.
Right. Very nicely explained on the Karavan Har and Karan Har that in this Murli, Baba is very clearly saying that I am an instrument who is made to do everything by the Karavan Har. He's making me move and I'm moving. So yes, a very nice takeaway. Anybody else would like to share?
Baba starts giving the specialities of a spiritual rose, and he first mentions as to how the fragrance of each one of you reaches Baba, though it's number wise, but because we all are sitting in this Baba Milan and everybody is having one stable stage of the meeting Baba, he says everybody's fragrance reaches him. And then he further explains various points of specialities of spiritual soul roles. And the first point that he mentions is with the spirit that I am a soul and I see each one as soul is the first speciality of a spiritual rose. And then thereafter he speaks about a lot of various points which are so intoxicating about what it means to be a spiritual rose. Sister, I will request if you can just reiterate all of these points once and we can reflect on each one of them.
Yes. Yes, Sister Rakiben. You want me to read those points again? The ones
Yeah, if you can just reiterate or read those points once again.
Sure.
I'll remember the points there.
Yes, because here, just a second. What Baba is actually saying in this Murli, in simple words, he says, I am the Spirit, and always in front of the Lord, I say, yes, my Lord. And the Spirit and the Supreme Spirit are constantly combined. The Supreme Spirit cannot stay without me. So it's so nicely in this Murli, it's explained, even the Supreme Spirit cannot stay without me, who is the Spirit. And at every second, those who experience the Lord to be present with them constantly and eternally have this spiritual fragrance. This is the specialty of number one fragrant spiritual roses. So I think here what is being re-emphasized is the Supreme Spirit cannot stay without me, the Spirit, and I cannot stay without the Supreme Spirit. So actually both are interconnected in such a divine way. And if we can experience this magic and actually experience the vibration of the Supreme Lord to be present with us every second, constantly and eternally, then we are blessed with this spiritual fragrance of being number one, fragrant spiritual roses. And then Baba also says, in the same way, we also have the Supreme Spirit merged in their drishti. So they are merged in Father's drishti, and the Father is merged in their drishti. So actually, very nicely explained in the Murli that when you are meditating or when you are seeing Baba in your drishti, it merges when Baba is seeing you in his drishti. So you merge the drishtis together. And spiritual roses then will not see the bodies. They will only see the consciousness of speaking through the bodies, but they will actually only see the spirit and speaking to the spirit. So they, even in the visualization, even in the meditation, what I can infer from this Murli, they are constantly in the spiritual world. The world of angels, the world of deities. Even if they are talking through their body, they are actually not talking through their body, they are talking through the spirit. And they're constantly engaged in this spiritual service, night and day. The other thing which Baba has emphasized here in this Murli is that all spirits should claim a right to their inheritance. They feel that they want to help souls under an external influence with their own powers, and they never look at others' weaknesses and defects. They are always bestowers who cooperate, using the powers and virtues that they have inculcated into themselves. So they are great donors as well. They always have good wishes for others to become equal to the Father. I think this is also very, very important. That whenever we meditate, I'm using my own example now, I never end the meditation without praying or meditating for others. I think this is Baba's direction that I try to imbibe. That whenever you connect, yes, you connect for yourself, but then see the same connection for everybody else. And you can experience a higher level of vibration when you do that. So good wishes for others, vibrations with others, and making sure that they are also peaceful and prosperous embodiments of happiness. Then you're bringing about the world transformation in this confluence age. So these are the spiritual roses. Is this okay, Rakhi Ben? I emphasized.
Yeah. So, the way Baba has mentioned today, and why I was requesting you to reiterate is how beautifully Baba has mentioned your attitude in a drishti makes a difference. And if we look at in the Lokik world, Sakar world, one need not have to see the rose. Only the fragrance of the rose will let us know there is rose around. So by all of these specialities that Baba is mentioning, Baba simply says that have this attitude of I am the spirit and everybody around me is a spirit, and get merged in that intoxication of a spiritual attitude. And that's possible only when I get bathed or I get this fragrance from the supreme power, from the Almighty Baba, and I see him as a supreme spirit and get that power, and then have that ripple of those powers back with all my connections and relationship, and it automatically will spread the fragrance of who I am as a spiritual rose. So thank you for reading that back.
Yes, thank you, sister.
Om Shanti.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
I'd like to add reflection that this is a wonderful, this is a takeaway as well for me. Is these spiritual roses will feel that they want to help souls under an external influence with their own powers, and they have attained from the Father and enable them to have an experience. And the most important is they never look at anyone's weaknesses or defects. They are bestowers who constantly cooperate using the powers and virtues they have inculcated into themselves. So that's something like the spiritual roses. They are cooperative with the Brahmin family and great donors for everyone else. And I'll just read because if I say in my words, I think it will be injustice. How beautifully Babdada has described. They never feel that certain people are like this or like that. Instead,
Mm.
they have the na? So so depth, and this is the specialty of a spiritual rose. But what to say about number one spiritual rose? How deep he will be cleansed, and how deeply that soul will be pure. Instead, they always have the good wishes to make others equal to the Father. And together with this, they also have elevated good wishes for all the souls who are at this time unhappy, poverty stricken, and peaceless to become constantly peaceful and prosperous embodiments of happiness. These are the spiritual roses. It is unconditional. Spiritual rose, pure and positive feelings for others is unconditional. Means if the others are not behaving as per the expectations, still the spiritual rose will have this fragrance, whether the rose is put in a dirty place or in a temple. The rose will continue to give the fragrance, irrespective of the environment in which the rose has been kept.
In
That's something
fact, in
great.
fact, just I wanted to add here, even when a spiritual rose is plucked, the petals of the rose are still used for fragrance. Even if you compare it in a Lockic life, and,
Yes,
and the roses are admired in a garden. They give you beautiful perfume, but even when they are removed from wherever they are living, they continue to give that fragrance. I mean, the roses are known for that. And
yes, um, yes. And just adding that while you are speaking, roses are surrounded by thorns, and still they do not behave like thorns. They maintain their inner stage of continue to give the fragrance, irrespective of there is a thorn just adjacent to the rose. That's okay. Rose will continue to be rose unconditionally. You know, you're getting my point. What there
yes,
will be thorns around you. There will be people with negative energies around you, surrounding you, negative situations surrounding you, and you see about the mud. The soil of the rose is actually, if you cannot even withstand the smell or that stinking which that mud that soil has got that with the manure and all. But just in proximity to that is the rose. Here is a rose which is giving the fragrance just opposite to that environment. So
and also
rose is
have a
never dependent
different,
on the environment.
yeah. And also, while the thorns are there, it also reminds you that this world which we are living in will have so many complications and so many
Yeah,
things which are not
adversity.
going the way they should, but you can still be that beautiful, fragrant, spiritual rose amidst all the thorns of your worldly life.
And have a special vision that the thorns are not negative, they are protecting you. Because of thorns, the spiritual roses, they are safeguarded. So convert, transform that transforming vision that thorns are Sayogi Sati for you. The adversities are, further strengthening you. They are not to be seen with a disgust, but they are there to, as your, you can say, they are subservient to you, and make them as Sayogi Sati and continue to serve with your fragrance. Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother. Anyone else would like to share?
The
They
same
were-
point that Romba is mentioning here, these challenges, if we see the thorns on the rose flowers, are challenges in life, and it's a chance for us to grow. Now, do we look at from that perspective, or we look at this as a pain? It's going to be our choice. And also, this depicts that the original self of the rose flower doesn't get disturbed by the thorns around it. The message that it gives is, I, the soul, my original sanskars of being peaceful, being powerful, being loveful, and so on, need not get disturbed by any situation that comes in, any problems that comes in, or any negativity that shows in my journey of current life. Am I aware of who I am? Is the beauty of this original character of I, the soul, or am I getting colored by all these negativities or challenges that coming in, and I am disempowered? That's the awareness in which I need to catch myself and change. So thorns are challenges that comes up for us to take a chance and move forward. That's a reflection of Shanti.
Yes, sister, thank you. And there were also some aspects in the Murli giving examples of different states, which are quite interesting. Anybody would like to reflect on that? Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, Madras. Baba, in his very simple way, has given nice examples. So for Maharashtra, like he says, Maha is great. So he says you have to make yourselves great and make the world great. And you can all become number one. I love this sentence. Because sometimes, the visualization is there can be only one number one and there can be only so many number 2 and 3 and 4. And I don't know, right from the beginning, I would always think it is depending on your deepest connection. There is no competition here. You all can be number one. And I think in this para, Baba is very nicely portrayed that. And to become great, you have to make yourself great and make the world great. Any reflection on this?
See how beautifully Baba, the Bhagwan, looks always at the specialities, at the Vishishta of every soul, and how he relates to the name and transforms the name into something unique, associates the name with specialities in the soul or in the region, or so that's the reason. Maharashtra, he looks at Mahanta. Madras, he looks at Ras lene wale, spiritual intoxication, Madras. And I remember for Madhya Pradesh, Baba had said that it's a land of memorial of Father. Mahakaleshwar, Omkareshwar, they are situated in Madhya Pradesh. So this is a very, very subtle, very, very important takeaway for all of us, that whenever we look at external world, we have this attitude and the knack of seeing the speciality. Come what may, we should always look at the speciality and then describe that speciality in such a elevated manner that it transforms that particular object, person, or the region. Om, Om Shanti. Maybe we can reflect on that. That's a very beautiful quality of a leader. To always look at the speciality of his boss, subordinates, colleagues, and that's how the organizations, they will flourish and they will be the world class. Om Shanti.
Yes, Om Shanti. Anyone else would like to add?
Sister, right from the beginning, I've been wondering how Baba describes and gives a separate tone to the different states. Otherwise, we being from different states across India and living as together, one country, unity in diversity, it actually is a very complicated thing. We have prejudices against each and every other person from other state, for whatever reason they are, right? Being from, I mean, from Lokik point of view, what people describe, right, from the northern India to southern India, it gives a total diversity and a sense of differentiating one from another. I mean, it's a disintegrating Lokik mat actually. But whereas Baba brings in those subtle feelings of brotherhood in the sense of goodness and well wishes towards each other. It, like as Maharashtra, you say, it's one of the largest states of India. And Baba brings in that feeling of you, one being one of the greatest, you also spread that greatness to others. And from Karnataka, they say Karnatak, play your part in the Behad ka drama. I mean, every time I go through different states and different Murlis, through different millons, it gives a different perspective towards personal from that particular state. And the sense of well-being and well-wishes toward that person, that particular soul emerges. Otherwise, it is in a Lokik way, it is always like separating from one another. Yeah. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yes, thank you, brother. Yes, very well said. It removes the barriers or the boundaries of the states that we have divided for constitutional reasons, but it connects everybody to the same one spirit. And I think Baba's these examples really help us to have the same spirit of unity in diversity, as you said. And not only for our subcontinent, India, but even the entire globe as such. And even in the Karnataka example, Baba said, you have to become heroes and make others into heroes. So again, he's re-emphasizing that if you are a spiritual rose, you not only do things for yourself, you actually have the same elevated intention that everybody else also has to have number one status. Everyone else also has to be a hero, has to be great, and like Andhra's example, he's also added dispelling the darkness. So you're the master sons of knowledge. So not only yourself, but for everybody else. So a rose is always giving fragrance to everybody around. So the context here is becoming more and more clear that if you do all your practices only for yourself, it is great, but it is not as great as doing it for others as well. So this context of spiritual rose for me is the major reflection while I was reading this Murli. Anybody else would like to add anything further?
Om Shanti, sister.
Yes, sister.
You can hear me, right? Because I missed actually the groups and all. I'm traveling. I listened to Mara there. But for me, when you said about Maharashtra, see, like you have double citizenship. I am a South Indian, but staying in Maharashtra. So when anything comes, even Tamil Nadu comes, I used to get up. I mean, people from Tamil Nadu. And even if it's Maharashtra, I used to get up because my teacher used to say, get up because you are a South Indian, get up, you belong to Pune. So I know, but always for Maharashtra, I remember he used to use the word Mahan. Yeah, and Baba just used to play with the names of those states and all Mahana. And as a brother said, for Karnataka, he's saying, no, natak karne wale. So those he is just doing, to address that particular group, to give them the recognition that he knows he is there. But for him sitting up over there, it's all just one nation, one this, and all residents of Paramdam and nothing else. So but sometimes there are a few, because when we went, I remember a long time back, as Dubai Vasis, when we had gone, he had asked one of our brothers, "Kya aap Dubai ka sheikh laenge?" So it is just a kind of a motivating thing he does over here. But more than that, in the Murli, I love this Ruhani Gulab. The more than the English thing in Hindi, that word Ruhani, Ruhaniyat, and the gardener, Bhagwan. So to know God as a gardener, he comes up every morning at Amrit Vela. He wants to pick the rose. He wants to pick a flower. So each flower, I feel as if they are craning up to see, oh, Baba, I'm here. Baba, I'm here. Come choose me and all. So that kind of gardener, we would like to go and show our faces, means we have to really bloom in that kind of spirituality. So when a rose, even though as the others who shared in the front correctly said, the rose has thorns, but the thorns doesn't affect the rose. Like the lotus is in the kitchen, but the kitchen doesn't affect the lotus. It has got its own fragrance and its own uniqueness and its own positivity. And it's called as the king of all flowers. But the rose is a rose and will always be a rose. So I like this word, that how do I really bloom like a spiritual rose, so that I can become a Gale Kahar of Baba. The spiritual rose, I think the more and more you churn on it, you will really see its petals are really, when we were young, we used to pick up those petals and eat them. But then and the taste, whatever it gets, it's a wonderful taste, the rose. I don't know about other flowers, but rose is a thing which we used to always enjoy. So yes, a spiritual rose, as Baba is telling us today, one thing about the spiritual rose is the fragrance it spreads. As I think more we go in the Murli, Baba will speak about how do we spread the fragrance of the rose among all. Om Shanti.
Yeah, thank you, sister. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else who has not shared so far and who would like to share their thoughts as well? Or want to give your own example or something we can all benefit to hear?
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Actually, Baba said you have to make others also equal to you, Aap Saman or Bab Saman. So you have see yourself as a soul and others also as a soul point of life. So actually, we have to think ourselves as a soul and we have to be in Baba's remembrance. So that's the way to absolve all our sins. So by seeing others, this is actually the rule to absolve the sins. But is it possible for us to make burnt other sins? Or it's a good energy we are actually sharing while seeing them as a soul, and ourself will also be pure and clean by having such attitude and intention. But my question is, can we able to burn others sins by having this attitude, or how can we make others equal to us? So by with our behavior and with our love to Baba and all the changes, spiritual changes we had in our life, they will be attracted by us. That's true, I think. But by seeing them as a soul or by having Baba's energies on them, is it their sins are burnt?
So this is a complex question. And frankly, I don't think I have the right answer for this for sure. But when I'm meditating and when I'm praying for others in general and seeing Baba's light on everyone, like you rightly said, the energies are moving on them. They themselves start responding to those vibrations. And because they respond to those vibrations in a nicer way, they automatically start doing things slightly better than what they were doing before. So they reduce the impact of their sins or karma themselves. So maybe indirectly, this is just my personal view, and I may not be 100% accurate. So please reflect it on your own. But I just feel from your side, you're only giving. You're not really counting has it had an impact on the sin or not? Exactly. Like for your own self also, you really don't have a count. Similarly, you don't have it for others, because so many lifetimes of what you may not have done appropriately has to be balanced somewhere. But every prayer, every good intention, every meditation is helping in that positive direction. So whether it can totally eradicate your past karma and past sins is always a complex question, not only for others, but even for your own self. But just keep doing is what I look at. Every second you do, you're helping. I think that's the answer that I'm getting. If anybody else wants to add on their own reflection.
Another perspective would be, if I am looking at others to be changed, which means somewhere I'm not accepting the soul the way the soul is. So I see this as a subtle ego space where I want others to change. So the only thing which is there in my hand as a soul is to work on my own self and keep giving good wishes and blessings to the other souls. What is happening with them is not something which is going to be in my hand, or whether it be possible from my side or not. I don't know whether that may happen or not. But the only thing which you rightly said, I, the soul, stand in this space of giving best wishes and surrendering it to Baba that this is what I have about them. But if I say that I want them to change or their vritti should be changed, then with that intention, if I'm doing things, then there is an agenda in it. And anything which has an agenda, I believe it reduces the space of giving. Then it is not giving, it is just expecting a result to come in. So acceptance is the first thing, and then giving best wishes and blessings to the other soul is the only thing which is there in my hand. And I work on my own self and my own vibrations. That's one perspective and reflection that I see from my end.
Also, to add to what you just said, I think the sister was talking about whether their sins will be reduced. So I took it in the context of not that she's wanting them to change in the Lokik way, but she's actually trying to reduce their past karmic bad influence. I mean, maybe I interpreted
so
it.
one thought there is, in most of the Murlis, Baba himself says that he doesn't come in anybody else's karmic account, not even in each one of us karmic account. So if I think that I can reduce anybody's karmic account is also expecting too much of myself, because I am here on my own journey. That is one thing which I was getting, if I understood the question right.
Yeah. And also one thing slightly away from the Murli, but which I would like to share is, this concept of soul contracts. So sometimes the people that we may feel are actually adversely dealing with us are actually helping us, because they're triggering a reaction or a response from us, which enables us to do the right thing and to learn in that journey, to progress spiritually. So a big thank you to all those triggers, to all those adverse elements, to all those people whom we may call them as sinners, but they are the ones, maybe there's some, when your higher self, before you take birth, you have these soul contracts. So they've come there to actually help you grow. So I think when you start looking at everybody who's around you is helping you, either by cooperating with you or by not cooperating with you, then you start seeing everybody as that divine soul. And it's easier to use Baba's light and meditate and help everybody to become great and just keep putting that thought, you know. So anyway, this is a subject which is
No, but that's a very positive way to looking at things, and that is something which has started working for me as well. You know, whatever challenges come in, the way people behave. If
Om
I look at
Shanti. Yes, I would like to just add one reflection. Yes, very rightly said by Harpreet sister as well as Rakhi sister. We can only change the environment. We can basically send the, radiate the positive feelings towards that, and vision, right vision, that acceptance Rakhi sister spoke about now, that acceptance will come from the right vision about that soul eternally, and in the eternal form, the soul is beautiful soul, and because of the past karmic accounts, the soul is into this stage right now, whatever stage that soul is in. We cannot cut the karmic accounts of that soul, but we can, in the maybe in the Amrit Vela or any time of the when you are meditating, you immerse that soul in the subtle world, either in the angelic stage or even at the point stage, Paramdham, in the Kalpataru and Kalpatri, and give Paramatma, godly love and energy to that soul. That does make a difference, because the soul will get the right insight. The soul will get connected to the God's power and love. Then that soul will be empowered to cut sins through remembrance. But we cannot cut that soul's remembrance, sins. We can only we can be an enabler, but the soul has to do the purusharth, his or her own purusharth. That is beyond doubt. Om Shanti.
yes.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
brother.
there is one comment which Sister Rachna has mentioned where she says, very true, koi bhi doshi nahi hota. So the reflection here is, if we can see everything that's happening around me or with me is my own reflection, and if I can consider all of this as my dost and not doshi, then that particular thought or that I'm creating is positive. Looking at each situation, each incident, and each behavior of a person is supporting me to move forward, as you rightly mentioned, Harpreet, a few minutes back, that everything that's happening is supporting me to elevate myself, and something which needs to be cleansed in me is getting cleansed by these kind of situation. So considering everything as a dost and not doshi is one reflection to the whole conversation that's happening. Om Shanti.
Thank you,
Om
all of you,
Shanti.
sister. But
Om Shanti.
Yes, sister.
Yeah, because I don't know whether you can hear me as a no, just one sentence, one thing I want to say, and that's based on today's Murli. Who am I to change? I'm just a Karanhar. I can be a catalyst for change, but I cannot be maybe an instrument for change. But very clearly, Baba has spoken about the spirit and the supreme spirit. So I am a Karanhar. The Karavanhar is there. Even if I have to change myself, I need the rays of the Supreme on me. I need the Supreme Spirit. So I think the question of changing and all, and as the brother rightly remarked, we can emerge that soul in the subtle world, and we can give lots of the rays of Baba with it. But also there also, I am not changing. I'm using the Karavanhar's rays, and I'm emerging it there. So I basically, if suppose we could change the sins or somewhere through this, just if I could be a real winner in this race. So just to remember, I can be a catalyst or an instrument for change. Om Shanti.
Yes, absolutely. And even when we are meditating and praying for others, we are visualizing the light of Baba on them, along with our own light, which is merged with Baba's light. So it is Baba who does everything. It is He who is the Karavanhar. And therefore, it is He who is going to change whatever needs to be changed. But for a different session, we will, I think, continue this discussion, because I think the time now is almost 6 o'clock. Raki Ben, is it time for the meditation?
Yeah, we have a quick announcement. Sister, for tomorrow's session.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so tomorrow, it's Sunday, and tomorrow, Sister Vinu, sister from US, shall be conducting a session on Dadi Prakash Mani. This days coming, right? So, sister will be taking us through Dadi specialities. So I request everyone to join. Same time, 5 o'clock, and then we all can take the benefit. You all know that he was very good at looking at specialities of others, right? So we can also learn how that we can imbibe in our day-to-day life. Okay, Om Shanti. That be the impact. Over to you for meditation. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, brother. So we'll do a short meditation now. Let's all completely relax ourselves and focus with a very pure divine intention on Baba. We see the Supreme Light, our guiding light, and we connect our own inner light, the Spirit, the point of light in the center of our forehead, where Baba is saying, I'm waiting for you to deeply connect after this Murli discussion. See your inner light now leaving the body, rising up well above the earth, well above the atmospheric realms, crossing the planets, crossing the Milky Way, into the galaxies, well above, connecting to the supreme light of Baba. You experience the angelic world, the subtle world. You witness the higher forms of devas and devis, all also as beautiful spirits, as beautiful lights, connected to the supreme light themselves. I, the spirit, a beautiful soul, is now connecting to the supreme light in a very blissful, magical manner, receiving all the direct blessings of Baba. I'm blessed to be a spiritual rose. I'm blessed to spread my fragrance all around, to be the Karanhar, using the powerful, supreme spirit of Karavanhar. And as I see myself as this beautiful spiritual rose spreading my fragrance, blended with the light of Baba, I see the light of the universe all over. I see the numerous souls, the numerous spirits, so many lights, all receiving the light from Baba. With a pure divine intention, I pray for the greatness of every soul. I connect to Baba and see that He's dispelling the darkness from all the souls around me. All the souls are becoming brighter and brighter, radiating beautifully with the light of Baba. I can see all their heroes becoming the true heroes of spiritual roses. I see the white lights all around me as beautiful rose flowers, all of them blooming lovingly, nudging each other to bloom brightly. I see the light of Baba blessing me for spreading his fragrance all around, for helping the transformation take place. And I, the spirit who's connected to Baba's light, thank him for being constantly with me. Thank him for being constantly with all other souls as well. In 30 seconds of silence, just visualize this breathtaking, magical experience and experience your own vibration as you see the whole universe lit up with the grace of Baba. Baba's message to each one of us: you are my beautiful spiritual roses. Your drishti and my drishti is now combined. I am the Karavanhar, but you are the Karanhar. Be my beautiful spiritual roses, spreading the light in the universe. And you can now continue to be in this meditative stage as you return to your physical self, as your spirit is still connected. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Thank you, all the spiritual roses in the group. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Harper sister. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a joyful day.